Hello, it's Jerlene and I'm live. Okay, I know it's late. It's 10:13 p.m. on June 3rd. I'm in my car. Been a long day. And I'm still in my car. I'm home, outside my home. Just had some thoughts. Wanted to share. Excuse me. We wasn't expecting that. Oh, so if you've been paying attention to my feed, what did they say? I've been going hard in the paint. Been going hard in the paint, y'all. And I have been making a lot of commentary, specifically directed at and about the Long Beach Unified School District Board member Eric Miller. Okay, I need you to understand, y'all. Any grace that I may have had, that I did have some grace, y'all, a little bit, but over the years it's been really waning. It's gone. I got boxing gloves on now. Okay. So if you've been paying attention to my feed, I've been posting a lot of information. So this past Sunday, there was the Long Beach Unified School District Black Graduation Celebration event, in which the Long Beach Unified School District Black board member, did not attend. So people are like, what's the big deal? Well, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to get to that. So it was my last, the last straw. That was it. That was it in being trying to be soft in addressing what needs to be addressed. Now, you got to stay with me. I'm going to be all over the place, but I'm going to come back. I always come back. Our nation is a hot mess right now, right? The world's a hot mess right now. People feel very comfortable talking about and criticizing things that they have no reach to, that they have no access to. For example, we criticize our federal government often. We criticize our state government. We talk about the shenanigans that they see. You know, every day somebody has some complaint about number 47. That is his number, right? Number 47. The man that's in the White House right now. People complain, right? They complain about what Congress is doing and what this Congress member said and what these different things are happening. But we do not do that. We don't put that same energy into what's happening in our local government. So yesterday was an election. I'm going to talk about the election stuff tomorrow. I'm not going to talk about that today. Okay. But I do got something to say with the election stuff, but I'm going to try to be in front of my computer when I do that. People are elected into office for the purpose of representing the people. Okay. They are there to create the balance between government bureaucracy and the people. That's the purpose of elected officials. Unfortunately, we have on all levels individuals who become more wedded to the institution in which they are supposed to bring balance to than safeguarding and protecting the people they were elected to serve. That exists right here in our city. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm not going to talk about the election because people are going to be like, oh, well, the people spoke and we will talk about that another day. I've been a champion, and I'm going to say a champion because I have championed for things in our public school systems for decades. I didn't start doing this last year. I didn't start doing this yesterday. I didn't start doing this 5 years ago. I've been doing this for decades. Almost 20 years, and I've seen the progress of my advocacy. Well, then the progress in the outcomes have changed because my knowledge and understanding has changed. So I have seen many things, and I have a deep understanding of stuff, right? In that, I also have an expectation for our educational leaders. The failure that exists within our public school system is not because our children are failures. It's not because parents are not doing the best job parenting. Yes, we can do better, right? But it is because our educational leaders are not doing their job. Period. That's local, that's state, that's federal. Today, if you're paying attention to what happened at the federal level, I don't know if I shared it or not on my page, I will, but we got to be paying attention to that. But I'm talking about local. So there's 5 districts in Long Beach called the Long Beach Unified School District. There's 5 areas. They're called trustee areas. And each area gets to elect a person to represent them. Now, back to what I said at the beginning of this conversation. The people who are elected are there for the purpose of the people, not the purpose of the institution in which they are attached to. They're to be the balance between that agency, that institution, and the people. Okay? Long Beach Unified, we currently have at least 4 of them, of the 5, that have forgotten or choose to neglect or ignore or dismiss the fact that they are there for the purpose of the people. Now, going back to my going hard in the paint commentary this week about Eric Miller. Okay. Normally I don't even say his name. I try not to even say his name, but I'll make sure I say his name. Eric Miller, school board representative for trustee area 2, which encompasses the Poly, Cabrillo, and all the schools in between that are the feeder schools in that area. Okay. Did not attend a major annual event on Sunday. This is after he canceled a meeting that was supposed to take place on May 26th, which had been in the planning process for over an entire year. The only explanation that was given was that there was a family matter. Yet, the evening in which he posted his cancellation, the cancellation was originally posted in a story by Long Beach Unified, and then he posted something on social media that said it was canceled. But the evening in which that happens, someone else the next day posts a picture, either that night or the next day, post a picture of Mr. Miller hobnobbing with some folks drinking wine. Now, I got the picture, didn't share the picture because I did not want to infringe upon other folks in this, but there's evidence that he was somewhere doing something after he canceled a meeting. Now, first of all, to get things straight, this meeting was not just about black people. It was not about black students. It was not about black parents. It was about all constituents within the Area 2 district. Okay. Now, somewhere somebody got this idea that the meeting was about the black center because they had terminated some chick that worked. That's a whole nother story. We'll get to that. We're going to talk. I still got to have a conversation about that. It was about all people represented within Area 2, actually within an entire school district. Because one thing about school district representatives, when they make a decision, that decision affects all children. They just happen to represent an area, meaning that me as a person who lives within an area should be able to go to my representative and say, I have an issue. Can you assist me with it? Okay. So Sunday, May 31st, he does not attend a meeting. After he had canceled a meeting that was happening on May 26th, which he canceled the week prior, which the night in which he canceled, a picture gets posted of him drinking wine with the fellas. And then the Friday, the day after he posted this cancellation, he shows up at a really large event, about 200, 300 people, for gathering of nonprofit organizations. But he put out a notice that he cannot have a meeting on the 26th because he had family matter. Now, the week of the 26th comes about, and there's sightings of him. He attends a meeting he attends the some retirement thing for Long Beach Unified. He had a CSCA activity event, the doctoral adult net thing. Now, these are things that share with me because I got people that send me information. People wonder like how you know all that, because people contact me. People share information with me. I don't share my sources. That's why people continue to give me information, because I don't share my sources. So I know he is actively out and about in other places, but you've canceled a meeting that's been on the calendar for an entire year. Now, the specific day was not selected, but the month in which the meeting was supposed to take place was. And you cancel it because you got family matters. Yet you show up at all these other spaces and places. So Sunday comes, Sunday, May 31st, the 4th annual Black graduate celebration. Now, this is what folks refer as an infinity type of event where a collective group of people who are like come together and celebrate. Now, this event, I know there's some people like, well, that's segregation, whatever you want to call it. You can unfollow me and push on. But this is an event that is has become a highlight of celebrating Black students in education. Now, if you know anything about what has happened to Black people in this country and how education is something that's valuable to the advancement of a collective group of people, and how Black students and families even in today's world, do not receive an equal, equitable education, this event is major. And for someone like, so let me share a little bit about my story. My 17-year-old, I am his aunt. He has been in my life since he was 2. He's my child. Okay. He's my child. I call him son. He calls me mom. I've been working the last 16 years to break some generational, what Black folks call generational curses. And he's graduating from high school. Now, I graduated from high school. I graduated from college. But his mother did not. Nor did his grandmother. So I have been working really hard just to get us to this place. So for me, that Black graduation and having a smaller, intimate group of people, which is still large. It's not as large as I'm going to experience next week, but it's a little bit smaller. That was meaningful for me. So my story, there's other people who have stories similar of the value and the power and the reason why a Black graduation matters so much. It matters so much on an institutional and a systems level, but it also matters on an individual personal level. Now, let's get to Mr. Miller. Why does it matter that Mr. Miller was or was not there? It matters because he's a Black representative. And if anything, if you hear what's been happening within our the district lines are being cut in other countries where they are pushing out Black representation, people fought so that there would be individuals that could be a representative in our community. Now, does that mean you represent Black people only? No, it does not. But there is an expectation that you will represent Black people. So I question all the time when people say, well, Jerlene, are you a Black leader? Am I a Black leader because I'm Black, or am I a Black leader because I do things for Black people? Because I do things for people, just because they people, because I love people. I unapologetically fight for Black people, but I will fight for anybody who comes my way and it needs my support. And I believe in what they believe in. Okay. So going back to Mr. Miller not showing up. Oh, well, maybe he had something going on. Okay. But not only did he not show up, only one board member showed up. Not Diana Craighead, the president of the board, not Doug Otto, the representative that represents the area at Wilson. Okay. Not Juan Benitez, who represents the area of Renaissance. Not Miller, Otto, Craighead, Wani. I named them all. Craighead, Lakewood. All of these areas got Black kids. They got Black students. Now, here's the shameful part about them. There's failure in every single district in Long Beach Unified with our Black children, no matter what school they are at. If they are at Poly, Lakewood, Milliken, Cabrillo, Renaissance, there's failure amongst Black students. There's failure amongst Black students starting from when they start testing. What is that, 3rd grade? Now, again, when there's failure, we should still be celebrating the successes, which is graduation. The only school board member that showed up was Maria Lopez. Now, Maria Lopez shows up at different places all the time. She's been very consistent. Now, of course, the expectation is that she would show up because the event was held at Jordan, which happens to be the high school in her area, right? So there's an expectation of that. But she actually shows up because she gives a damn. Now, going back to me going hard in the paint over Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller didn't show up on Sunday, but he showed up to an event on Saturday. And he showed up to an event on Monday. I'm trying to make it all make sense. And he showed up to campaign events on Tuesday. Now here, let's talk about the arrogance of it all. At the school board meeting tonight, he boasted and touted, boasted, bragged, you pick your word, on how he attended, in his report, how he attended the CSEA event, adults. The doctoral event employees, adults. Dude, you are not there to represent educators and adults. You can support them, but that's what TALB is for. So I'm listening and I'm like, okay. Going back, wind it back a little bit. So I bring all these things forward. I'm sharing this information, right? I'm hard to paint. I'm on social media. I'm dropping it. I make even a little reel that's got some clown music to it because that's how the mood I'm in or whatever. The way Mr. Miller responds to me is he makes a post and says, oh, I don't know who hurt you. I'm praying for you. Did he get a psychology degree alongside of that architect degree? Do they come as a bundle now? That he feels that he is some type of authority to question my emotional/mental well-being? I had to think on that for a few days. How misogynistic that a man tells a woman who is vocal, who fights for community, who's present, that I'm emotional unbalanced because I'm calling him out. Let me explain something to y'all people. I'm the most sane and emotionally balanced that I've ever been in my entire life. Praise God. And all those who have been part of my journey. So the deflection to deflect and try to make his inadequacies turn him into me being the problem. Hold up, swole up. It ain't me. But for a person to do that who's in an elected position, the arrogance and narcissism that has to be associated with that. Now, I hate to do this, and I've been trying to really be mindful of this, and I'm going to do this because this is where I am right now. He leads an organization that's for girls. But you want to minimize the voice of a woman, a powerful woman in her community, and relegate her down to her emotional well-being because you don't like what she shares. That's very problematic. And it's something that men in leadership positions do. I worked in a corporate environment. I gave a report on data that had numbers, and I had a man try to tell me that something was wrong with me because I gave a report on numbers. Had nothing to do with my emotional well-being at all. It was numbers. The things that I talk about related to education and what's happening in this city, it's based on facts. It's based on receipts. I don't talk about what I don't know about. But it's so interesting how we allow, and this isn't the first time with me. This isn't the first time he's ever done this to me, first of all. It's not the first time. He said this to me. I got a text message where he said he's praying for me. Dude, I don't want your prayers because I don't know what God you pray to. You only pray to me if you got a good soul and a good heart. You can't pray for me if you don't. So, but it's insulting. And for women, okay, who, and this is what's really shameful, is that became the default. And like I said, there's other men who's done that specifically toward me when I've used my voice in community. For women who are in relationships, husband, partners, and the relationships are kind of broken or whatever, and when a woman expresses herself in whatever reason and a man's a default is something's wrong with you emotionally, this is a man in an elected position who has made that commentary toward me because I called for him to be accountable. Does anybody see how problematic that is? Now, like I said, I am so thankful to the Lord above that I'm the most sane I have ever been in my life, and my mind is clear. I'm fine. I really am. And even when I get all hyped up and start talking loud and fast, I'm very conscious of what I'm saying and how I'm responding. Now, what's the big deal? So let's talk about what the big deal is. You have a black school board member that does not show up to the black celebration, nor do three other school board members do the same. So what does that say about do they really care about black children? Now, in 2000, for the 24-25 school year, only 3.66 black students exceeded in math. 3.66 exceeded in math. Into 23-24 school year, only 3.56 exceeded in math. Now, met 10.98 met percent of black students in Long Beach Unified. So maybe they didn't show up because they're embarrassed of the outcomes. And this has all happened under their watch. Maybe they were too embarrassed to go out there and look at those beautiful black children who successfully made it to the end of this process because of the outcomes. So I will always call for Eric Miller, Diana Craighead, Juan Benitez, Doug Otto, and Maria Lopez, who is available to the community, by the way, for the outcomes of black students. Now, English language arts, 2023 to 2024, 14.36 exceeded English language arts. Now, 21 met 21%. English language arts is our first language if you're an African American born in the United States. It's usually our first and primary language. So why are we only 21% met? So, and this goes back again to why the celebration matters. Now, some of these kids probably skimmed through. Now, I could tell you on some subjects, my kids skimmed through. I was dragging my kid, kicking and screaming just to get to this end. That's why that celebration matters to me, because we made it. But these kids didn't matter enough for Miller, the black man who shows up at meetings and wants to talk about his blackness and shows up at all these different events for photo ops as a board member, but does not show up for kids. Now, again, let's go back. So people are like, Jerlene, maybe he had something else going on. He showed up to an event the day before. He showed up to an event the day after. He showed up to campaign events last night. So whatever the reason was, it was not significant enough to stop him from being there. So to me, it lets me know where his priority is. So this is the black people. This is the black people that keep enabling black folks that do not do anything for us. This is on us. Now, I will get so much shit for this. I have over the years. You're attacking a black man. that man matters more to you than the 700 plus students that are supposed to be, oh, actually it's like only 600 that are graduating this year, or even the 7,000 that are in this school district. The fact that that man found a priority to go and celebrate adults who have already received their education. They have jobs. They're gainfully employed. They're getting their doctorate degrees. They were more important than the young people that we're supposed to be sending out into this treacherous world. Black people are at the bottom. And sadly, it's black people that are keeping them at the bottom. When the district created the opportunity for the Black Student Achievement, black people in this city should have been supporting it. But instead, a small group of parents, myself included, had to fight for someone to pay attention that they hired some nitwit out of another district that was trash and came into our district and was trash. And let's go back to the board meeting today. Board members all talking about, oh, we're just so excited that, we get to advance the work of the Black Student Achievement, and we've hired someone new. You don't get to take credit for that. You were forced to have to make a decision to remove someone you brought into this district that only caused harm to black people, black children, and other black educators. So, and it's funny because when I do things for other communities that don't look like me, I get so much shit. Charlene's out there doing for the Latinos. Okay? Your point is what? What's your point? I still go hard in the paint for my people. But like I said, I love all people. But then people want to question my blackness. I question y'all blackness. I'm still talking to black people right now. I question y'all blackness. Do you really care? Or do you only care if you can take a picture with someone who got title and position that don't do shit for us? My mentor says to me, there's a reason why black people were enslaved so long. Because there were too many of us that were not willing to fight and stand for each other because we were kowtowing and waiting for massa to give us permission. There are black people that are afraid that I'm going to offend white people. I have more support and backing from white people in this city than I do black people. Yes, I just said that. I said that out loud. And I get phone calls where they don't understand my passion. They don't understand the history or the logic. But they will call and ask. And they're willing to learn and support. And even when they don't completely understand, they still support because they know my heart. Now, let's see. Oh, I think it was very cowardly that Mr. Miller canceled the meeting that was scheduled for the community. That was cowardly. When he ghosted the black children that and didn't show up at the event, that was the action of a plantation Negro. Screenshot it, repeat it, do whatever you got to do. Okay? I will keep speaking up. I will keep speaking out. I will keep calling out nonsensical, nonsensical? That's the right word? Nonsensical. Jibber jabber that Mr. Miller says. I will keep calling out all the school board members because their actions speak louder than their empty words. I will keep fighting. I will keep pressing. Yet I will praise and uplift those that deserve to be praised and uplift. Thank you, Kim, Dr. Tabari, who is watching right now, who has definitely been a champion in black students and, helping to raise the bar, Appreciate you. And thank you for the educators who have been reaching out to me over the last, who's been reaching out to me for the last few years, especially the last few days, and giving me the tea. I appreciate you. Thank you for the parents that entrust me to sit with them and advocate for their child. Sat with the grandmother today that is raising her grandchild, grandmother and grandfather, that has been dismissed by educators and administrators in Long Beach Unified. Took them months just to get an audience to deal with something with their grandchild that could have been dealt with literally in a matter of minutes. But I go and I deal and I sit in those spaces and places because the leadership, the elected, selected, anointed, and appointed, is failing black family, black children, and black people in this city. Now, you may see all these pretty photo ops and everything, and you got the plantation Negroes gathering around each other. Hope y'all sleep well tonight. Anyway, now that I got that off my chest, let me see my notes. Now, and this is what I would recommend for y'all. Go to, you can type in, type in data, education data for Long Beach Unified. It'll give you one of 3 major sources that you can go and check out. The dashboard, education, I just went blank. One's called the dashboard, and I can't remember what the other one is. But anyway, these numbers that I shared, this 3.66 of 3, that's the success rate of black students in math, 3.66 for a certain year. You can see all that there. And those are the conversations should be happening among people. And, and black folks, if we don't really come together and we don't hold people accountable, those that look like us and those that don't look like us, for the well-being of our future, we will continue to decline. We will continue to be at the bottom of everything. We will continue to have the highest infant mortality, the lowest homeowner rates, the highest unemployment, the highest population in prisons, the highest percentages amongst homeless. It's all connected. It's all interweaved. I think that was it. I think I got my little notes. It's scribble, y'all. I can barely even read it, but I had to. Anyway, have a good night. And again, when I'm live, I'm here to engage, inform, hopefully inspire. Maybe I'll make you laugh. I will be back with some commentary specifically. It's called the California Education Dashboard. Thank you, Dr. Tabari. She's a statistician, so I can reach out to her when I got trying to figure out some numbers. She always will make sure I'm right on that. But I will be back to talk about the election. And again, for people who are like, Jarlene is always talking about black people. Well, yeah, I am. I wake up every day. I look like this. And just to be correct, I'm black and Mexican. Just so you know. I was raised by my black grandparents, though. So culturally, I am black. And I'm very proud of it. DNA-wise, I got some other stuff in me. And I'm proud of that, too. But most importantly, I'm a human being on this earth. A human being. And being a human being matters above all. Good night. Thank you. I feel so much better now. I'll see you all later.